Yo, what's up everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Atlus in addition to Bioware. There's some stuff going on. Kind of wanted to talk about it a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get right into this. And we're starting off with Atlus. And this is the reason why I say Atlus is a weirdo company. They are weird. They just do things differently. And I think that it impacts them in more ways than what people think. Obviously, Persona is great. Atlus makes great things. Etry and Odyssey, they have a lot of great IPs. They do a lot of great things. But when it comes to the modern generation of gaming, when it comes to the 8th generation and whatever you want to put Switch into, whether it's the next generation, 8.5, or this generation, Atlus is definitely weird. Their thought process and what they're doing or what they have done is weird. And it's not like there's some type of master plan. I honestly feel Atlus is just mismanaged at some point. So in a recent survey, Atlus is asking fans if they want to see Persona and Catherine ported to the Switch. Now, this isn't the first time that they have came out and stated that they, what do you guys think? For example, this is not the first time that we've seen a survey that says, do you want to see Persona on the Nintendo Switch or anything? But the fact that they're coming out here and asking us and not looking at their own game sales data, I don't think a Japanese company like this needs to ask us, like, do you want to see it? Now, I get it. It's better than saying, if you want Catherine, port beg for it. So I get that. So I'm not going to rail on them for the port begging type of stuff or asking us to do that. If you're going to do that, if you're going to try to get fan feedback or whatever the case is, this is probably a better way to do it. Just give us a survey. But I just find it ridiculous that a company that supported the Nintendo 3DS as much as they did, and they know good and well that portable gaming is big and that people want to be able to play games anywhere that they want. They know that because they invested heavily into the Nintendo 3DS with a variety of games. And now you're trying to sit here and say, oh, well, do you want to see this on there? I mean, you put Catherine on the PS Vita. Of course, people would want to see it on the Switch, a system that they can play without having to buy a PlayStation 4 and also a PS Vita to play on their TV in addition to their anywhere that they want, right? But let's get into what they had to say here. So Atlus has put up a new survey asking gamers for feedback on a large variety of topics. Now, in the survey, Atlus was asked a few questions as whether they'd like to see Persona and Catherine port on the Nintendo Switch. Also asked whether fans would like to see a remaster, remake, or sequel for the Etry and Odyssey series. Now, the survey takes no longer than 15 minutes, and if you complete it, you can get a chance to win eShop gift cards. So it's something that you guys should definitely go check out. Shout out to Nintendo Super for the article. Also check out the link in the description below if you want to participate in this survey. And I honestly feel that everybody should go participate. And to be honest, like, I understand that this stuff might be trivial to me, so maybe Atlus as a company isn't thinking that way, and obviously they're not thinking that way. But if you look through here, they talk about other stuff too. They talk about the Xbox One, they talk about other type of systems, PC ports for Persona and all of that, which they've done before. But with Catherine and all of that, like, I don't see why that would be something to where you'd have to ask, especially when you had Catherine on the Xbox 360. You had Catherine on the PS Vita. You know what I'm saying? Catherine, the original, was on the Xbox 360. The PS Vita one, that was the new port that they brought with the full body, and then also on the PlayStation 4. So the default system seems to be PlayStation 4, and that's fine. The default system is PlayStation 4, but I think Atlus needs to realize that things are changing. I'm not sure if Atlus has realized that, and I know it's easy for all of us, right? If you're a Nintendo fan, if you have a Switch, you see the value in what Persona and in what Catherine and in what Atlus can do. Etry and Odyssey, all of these games that they've had out, you're like, man, these would all be dope if you can play them anywhere that you want. A lot of Atlus's games in the past have been portable, like Shin Megami Tensei. They realize that, and that's the funny thing where I'm kind of confused with Atlus. Like, when it comes to it, it seems like they have people that are very, forward thinking. For example, the Shin Megami Tensei 5 developer, where he was like, hey, well, why is this on the Switch? Or that question was posed to him, and he said that it'd be good if you can play while lying down on the couch and relaxing, because there's there's like a lot of demon fusion and kind of like low time parts, and it'd be good if you can just do that with the Nintendo Switch. It makes sense, and a lot of Atlus's games are like that. Like, to me, Captain Full Body is not a type of game that you need to sit there and play on a 55-inch TV and the graphics and have it right there in the living room or whatever the case is. It's the type of game that you can lie down in your bed and get out like one level before you go to sleep. It's that type of game. It's a puzzle game. You do not need to be up and all propped up in a gaming chair or anything like that. So for Atlus to have developers who can clearly see the certain value when it comes to it, and then other people that are just like, oh, well, let's survey them. You know, we didn't have to ask for Shin Megami Tensei. They just realized, yes, this is going to be a good fit for the system. We didn't have to ask for any of that. You know, they just said, yes, this is what it's going to be, and here's how we're going to bring it to the system. And now we're getting Shin Megami Tensei 5. So I don't see why it's not the same type of thing with Persona or the same type of thing with other franchises. Now, and here's the thing, guys. There is the PlayStation elephant in the room, right? Like, I think that there's some type of exclusive deal or there's some type of exclusivity deal when it comes to mainline Persona, but there isn't any 100% verification that I can find on that. All we've seen out there is people saying, yes, we think there's a deal. There was the guy that used to work at Atlus, but there hasn't been anything official, but it definitely seems that way. But why are they asking if there is some type of mainline Persona deal? Why are they asking, do you want it on the Nintendo Switch? Do you want it on the PC? Do you want Persona on the Xbox One? If there is some type of deal, that would be a breach of a contract of saying, hey, well, entertaining other things when you have a deal. So that makes me to believe that there isn't some type of ironclad Persona deal that it can only appear on PlayStation systems. Otherwise, they wouldn't be advertising that. It's not like Nintendo's going around saying, hey, would you want Bayonetta on the Xbox One or anything like that, or Marvel Ultimate Alliance, or any of these games that Nintendo's been working on with other third-party developers. They're not asking people, hey, do you want it on the Xbox or other platforms or PlayStation? It's a deal. There is a business deal. So the fact that Atlus is coming out here and giving us surveys, asking us if you want Persona on other platforms, that makes me to believe that there really isn't some type of ironclad, it has to only be mainline Persona on the PlayStation platform. And we do have Persona Q on the Nintendo 3DS. So what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about the survey? What do you guys think about what Atlus had to say here? Would you like to play Captain Full Body on the PC or the Nintendo Switch or the Xbox One? Would you like to play Persona? I think I know the question to that one. Obviously, I'm a big Persona fan. I bought it on the PlayStation 4. I'll buy it again if it comes out for the Nintendo Switch. Heck, I'd buy Persona 5 on the PS Vita if there was a PS Vita version of the game. So I'm all down for that. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. I'm starting to get a little bit worried for BioWare and what could happen to this studio if Anthem doesn't meet the sales expectations, because we recently got the game launched, right? Anthem is out, and the reviews are starting to come in, and it's not looking good. It's definitely going to be a yikes at this point, because I'm looking on OpenCritic, and there's 22 reviews so far, and it has a 62 average with a very low percentage of critics recommending it. Has a weak rating so far, and the biggest problem that we're seeing here, at least from some reviewers, obviously this is subjective, guys. This is not something that is, okay, that means you don't go out there and go buy Anthem. I'm just simply talking about what some of the reviews are saying, is that there's not really a lot of endgame content. It's a very shallow type of story, shallow world, repetitive missions or something like that, or something along the lines like that. And that doesn't mean the game's not enjoyable. I think a 62%, that doesn't mean the game's trash and it's horrible. I think that it's just missing some things that make it great. It's missing content, and I feel that's where the reviewers are really kind of honing in on. It's the end game, it's the content, it's the repetitive type of missions, it's just the shallowness of the game. And that's what a lot of these live service games kind of launch as. Like, they launch and there's not really much to them because they spent so much time trying to make sure that the game doesn't self-destruct. These live service games, always online connections, anything can break the game or cause an error or cause something to happen. We've seen it all the time with these online type of games, especially an EA game with tons and millions of people probably logging in that rush out there to go buy Anthem day one, or that are playing on PC because the game looks great and they spend so much time in terms of graphics. It looks great, so they spend so much time on other things. It's hard to kind of round out all of the content because your money has to go to somewhere. It's very rare that we see games where we see the money go all the way to make it look as good as Anthem does, then also the graphics as well. I mean, very little. I think Red Dead Redemption is one of those games where there's a ton of content in there, in addition to the graphics looking top-notch, Grand Theft Auto, games like that. But you don't see those games a lot, and those games are ridiculously expensive to fund. I would think that Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption cost a lot more money, or costed a lot more money to make, than a game like Anthem. So they can take the time to put the money in there and all of that. Whereas BioWare, I don't think they had that amount of time, considering it's EA, and I don't think there's just something with it. I'm not sure if this is in BioWare's DNA to make a live service game. They've always made these really cool single player focused type of games, or single player focused, but then you can play multiplayer as well. They've always made those type of games where the single player is the focus, whereas this time, this game is all about just the multiplayer, right? All about the multiplayer. You can't even play the game single player, from what I understand. As soon as you go out, you have to randomly pair up with other people. You might be able to play, though, just from what I understand, it does randomly pair you, and that's pretty much the best way to play the game, is online multiplayer the whole time. There's not really much single player content in there, and I'm just not sure if I'm a fan of this style of what BioWare is doing. Like, I really like what they did before with Mass Effect. Now, Andromeda was obviously a failure, right? When it comes to the game itself, critically, the game ended up selling okay, but that was when copies were literally $9. The game was selling good. Everyone's like, okay, now I'll go out there and buy the game. You know, I bought the game, I think, at 20-something bucks. So it's not like BioWare was selling those for 60 a pop or anything like that. The game was discounted quickly. But at the end of the day, that's what they're known for. They're known for their story-driven experiences, and they've done some really good things in the past with stuff like the KOTOR franchise, Mass Effect, and I feel that that's where they're at their best. I'm not sure if this type of live service game is where they're at their best. From what I've seen, though, it looks like it plays very well. It looks like it's responsive, and it has good controls for the most part. Graphics are great, but it's just missing some of the other things that round out a great game. So that's unfortunate. Hopefully nothing happens with this. Hopefully people that want to play the game get the game, and BioWare isn't in trouble. But this would be two pretty poorly rated games in a row from BioWare when it comes to Mass Effect Andromeda, and then now also this game, Anthem, and that's definitely not good. That's definitely not good. So what do you guys think about what Atlus had to say here? In addition to Anthem, BioWare, what's going down with the reviews? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, Ninja, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for latest RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you, Ninja, for the next video. Peace.